Well, hello everybody. Hi Ange, hi Steph. How are you guys? So I don't usually do a Friday Night Live, but I just thought we might have some fun. We might have a few people come in that can't come other times. And I was right because Steph is in tonight and Angie is in tonight. So I don't know how many people will stop in because Friday night is not a regular night for me. But I just thought it might be fun. And Joe has been gone to Phoenix all day. And I thought he might spend the night, but he called and he said he was on his way back. So sooner or later, he will be popping in. He thought 7 o'clock. I thought, no, he's probably here by 8 o'clock. But it has been a fun Friday. And I have to switch over to Suburban Homesteader in the corner. And oh, looky here. Ann is here too. So we got Ann, and we got Steph, and we got Angie. Oh, and me, Mike P. How are ya? Got the sun catchers. Thanks so much. They are awesome. Woohoo! I love making those sun catchers. And the more whimsical they are, the funner I like them. And Teresa's in too. We had a duck race on my other channel. No, not a duck race, a robot race, because you can have all kinds of things. You can have robots and trucks and spaceships and ducks and all kinds of stuff. And they race to see who the winner of whatever you're giving away. Oh, can you hear those dogs barking? Joe was just pulling in. He was right. 7 o'clock. He must have went fast on that interstate. But he went over to see our son Jordan. And I guess they had lunch. They played pool. Joe got to meet some of his friends over in Phoenix. So I guess they had a good time. So I'm happy about that. And it's always fun to be able to, because I was going to go over with him. And then I said, why don't you go by yourself? Because sometimes you need that just one-on-one time with your kids. Because a lot of times I'll drive over to Rapid City and Joe doesn't come. And I'll see Alicia, or I'll see Grace, see my brother. You know, it's just fun to have that one-on-one time. And Steph, I hope you are having a good night. Did you get your you did get your sun catcher, didn't you? So I hope you liked it. And I'm making a big art project on my fused glass artwork channel. And so I did a short clip because the different parts of it will get fired a few times. And so by the time it's done and it's all put together, it'll be fairly large. I hope fabulous. So, yeah. Now, what am I doing in the yard? We got 8 tons of gravel this week. And Joe and I are using our shovels and a wheelbarrow and the rake, and we're moving it around. And it's 96 degrees. And it was like, yeah, no. We're not doing this anymore. And so the next day, we rented a bobcat. Now, Joe knows how to run those bobcats. And so I said, I need to know, what if I needed to run a bobcat and I just didn't know how to do it? Steph says, I got the one I want, and I can't wait to get the couple I bought from your shop. I sent those. And Steph, thank you so much for the bracelets. Are those cool or what? One is supposed to be for Joe, but he says, I don't know if I'll wear it, but tell Steph thanks. I'm wearing all 3 of them. I love it. Look at these fun little crowns. Look at this one right here. Woo! Got to find the... Are those cool or what? So, Steph, thank you so much for that. And Gwen is here. Hello. Happy Friday. That's right, Ann. 8 tons of gravel. Well, first, he dumped it. And, they start to dump it and then they pull forward. So it's like this thick of gravel. And so we had to, start moving it. But it was too hot and we are too old. And so my hair is like crazy. We rented a bobcat. So Joe's driving it. I said, I need to be able to drive that, because what if I ever needed it? And look who's here. It's Joe.
Who's that?
It's everybody. There's Joe. He just got home. I didn't think he was going to get home at 7, but he says he was, and he did.
Oh, absolutely.
So he was over to Phoenix, seeing our son Jordan, and I was just talking about the gravel, how we rented a Bobcat. So then Joe taught me how to run a Bobcat. I understand why boys like their toys. It was so fun.
That's hard work, baby.
It's not hard work. It was fun. Oh, and Angie says, hi, Joseph.
And hey, Angie.
And saying hi to you. Steph says 96 is too hot for any outdoor activities. It was hot. We're moving gravel and Joe's throwing gravel. And so that, oh, look at everybody saying hi to you.
Yeah, that didn't work. Howdy.
Hardneck Farms. There you are, out of the commercials now. I know, it gives you commercials. If you monetize your stuff, it's going to do commercials first. It's just the way it happens. We don't get to decide how many there are. And Charlie and Brandy, how are you? Good evening. And Karen's here too. See,
Hi, Karen.
I don't usually do a Friday night, and I just thought, why not? Marsha from Alaska. Woohoo! How cold is it up there? It's probably not too bad. So anyway, Joe's teaching me how to run a Bobcat. And it is really fun. But then afterwards, he finished it all up because he's really good at it. He can move it forward. He can move it back. It's fabulous.
I didn't dump it on myself.
Yeah, he didn't make that bucket go too high and dump it on himself. No. Oh, Charlie's saying, even if you do not monetize, they add commercials to you now. Huh. Well, who knew?
Gotta put stuff away.
There's supper in there. Dad took me to fish and chips tonight.
Oh, baby.
I got you a whole one, and he paid for it.
I seen brownies. Ooh.
Yeah, Dad bought supper tonight.
Woohoo.
Oh, Tim is here too. Hi, Tim. How are ya? So, it was good to learn how to run a Bobcat. And it's so weird because you got your handles here, and then your feet do different things with the bucket. And so that's really interesting. And Joe says usually when you learn how to run a Bobcat, they'll give you like this big pile of dirt or sand, and you're moving it, and you go over and dump it, and you're doing all these different things, and then they come back and they make you do it again. Oh, hi, Gail. Gail is saying hi to Wendy too. And oh, Karen says that too. That the commercials are on everything now. Huh. I didn't realize that. But, YouTube, baby needs a new pair of shoes. I tell you. And Liz is here from Maryland. Hi, Liz. How are ya? That is exciting. But we got all that gravel moved. And actually, Joe doing the Bobcat, it took an hour. We had the Bobcat all day long, and we knew it wasn't going to take all day. But we called them. They came and got it, and then they gave us a discount because we didn't have it for very long. So that was nice of them because they rent it for all day. They don't rent it for like 4 hours. So that was nice. Karen says, my hubby drives heavy equipment for the electric company, and it scares me. I don't know. The Bobcat, it's not that big. And I thought it was totally fun. I could see why people do drive them, It's fun, it's interesting, and maybe if I did it all the time, I may not like it. But I thought it was totally fun. And Patricia is here too, from Georgia. Georgia is one of the few states I have not been to. I have been to, the only states I have not been to is I haven't been to Alaska. And then those very southern states, Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, and Washington, D.C. I haven't been to. But I think those are the only states I haven't been to. And so, Shelly is here, healthy homestead chick. And she was making Salisbury steak, I think it was called, the other day, and it looked yummy. That is for sure fun and saved you lots of energy. Because at 96 degrees, it is tough to do stuff outside, especially when it's physical labor. I'm just in awe of the people that live down here, and they're doing landscaping and they're doing roofing and stuff, and it's so hot. It's truly amazing. And Rebecca is in here. Hi, Rebecca. How are ya? Oh, good. I love it when everybody starts saying hi to everybody. That is always so fun. But I harvested Swiss chard again today. Swiss chard in Yuma, Arizona is a perennial, where it's never a perennial in Wyoming or South Dakota or any place north. But here, it just gets fatter and fatter, and it will live for about 15 years. So I think that's very cool. Charlie and Brandy say 96. That is all. Yeah, it's only 96. It's craziness. Oh, and my YouTube brother Doug is in. Hello, Doug. How are ya? And Doug is saying hi to everybody. And Doug is one of my members. And that's why he has that little circle with the little S-like thing in there. And Shelly, who is Healthy Homestead Chick, she is also one of my members. Tim Posey is a member. Anne is a member. Where is Anne? Let me find her again. Oh, Karen is a member. See, they all have that little symbol. 99 cents a month. It's awesome. And why can I not find Shelly now? It's gone up way too fast. See, there's Anne. And see, I missed Shelly someplace in this. I'm trying to go through and find Shelly. Anyway, Shelly, help. Say something so I can pop you onto the screen. Oh, there she is. Healthy Homestead Chick. It's one of my members. They are, I always say that I wish I lived next to Doug and Shelly. We would have so much fun. We'd probably get in trouble. We would have so much fun. Liz says 96 degrees there, and we are still on our last spring frost date times 4. Back home in Wyoming, which we would have been, actually, we probably would have got home today if we hadn't decided we had to stay for just a little teeny bit longer for an appointment. They got, first they said 16 inches, but then official city records was 19 inches of snow last weekend. It's like crazy. And one of my friends posted today, it was warm enough to ride their motorcycles, and there was all these piles of snow everywhere. So I thought that was kind of fun. And John is here. Hi, John. How are you? You probably have big plans of hiking this weekend, so that should be fun. And I am just going through. Oh, Marcia says it's her first time watching. Marcia's from Alaska. That is awesome. Well, we have been busy. Sorry, the dog is barking. Every time Reagan hears a noise, he thinks he needs to bark. He's a corgi. He's this crazy dog. And if you have never had a corgi, one of the things you never know beforehand is that they shed like crazy. I seriously have this brush that it has the bristles are like curved like this. It's actually made for a horse's mane, and he just loves it. And you just brush him and brush him and brush him, and it's just like so much hair. And it's like, how come you are not bald? How is my dad? My dad is good. We went out to dinner with him tonight, me and my mom and my dad, and he bought dinner. I didn't know he was going to buy dinner. And my dad turned 91 this month, and he is good. He goes for a procedure in May. So with us staying because of Joe's appointment worked out really good because I get to go over to Tucson with him. And so I'm excited about that. My sister's coming down too. Not a major procedure, but he is 91 years old and he does have to go under anesthetic. And so, there's always that concern, WD Glock and Roll is here. How are you tonight? And Rosemary from Ohio. I love Ohio. If you, Rosemary, if you have not ever seen Brian from Castle Hives, he is from Ohio, and he has honeybees, and they have gardens and stuff too, and I think you might like them. And so check Castle Hives out. And so Joe's appointment is May 11th. And so that's why we're staying. And my dad's appointment, we go down on the 9th. He has a procedure early morning on the 10th. And if everything goes the way it's supposed to, we will drive back. I'll drive them back. Not that my mom couldn't drive, but my mom is 84, and there isn't a reason why she should drive when I am here. And so my sister's going to fly into Yuma, and all four of us are driving over to Tucson because that's where it is. And my sister will fly out of Tucson because she has to be back in Wyoming. And she and her husband and their company are getting this big award. And my sister does not like the limelight, but she thinks that she needs to be at that award that they're getting. Lizzie, you're right. 91 years old is a total blessing. And really, he is so healthy. What they're doing with my dad is he has had an aneurysm down in his midsection, like for a very long time. And they just have monitored it. And with his last appointment, when they checked it, it had gotten a little bit bigger. And so they go in and they put this sleeve inside the veins, and it expands, and it does something to fix it. And so, but he is 91. And so that's always something you want to be careful about. They said that he could choose not to do it. I have been to Missouri several times. Yes. And I like Missouri. And I love going into the shops with all the antiques that are in Missouri. I was just amazed, totally amazed of what they have. Rosemary says, "Oh, I will for sure. We could stock up on honey." You can never, that's true. You can never have enough honey. That is so true. And he has a lot of great information, and he's just an all around great guy. I mean, totally a great guy. And so he has been a good friend. He's a friend of Doug at His Way Homestead too. And so it's just nice it's amazing all the people you meet through YouTube. I have had this conversation with so many different friends that we've met with YouTube. And all of us are always just like, oh my gosh, our life would not be as full if we had not met those people. And so that's a blessing that YouTube gives us. And I did so YouTube sends me these surveys that they want me to take. And the one today that I did was about some things that they're going to change to help creators. So regular people watching, they will see different things, but it's really interesting, some of the things that are coming on the horizon for creators. Rosemary says, "I have 2 brain aneurysms, and the surgery was great. Mine are coiled." And that's probably what that dad's is called. It's just really interesting. I have been to Mississippi. I was in Mississippi one time when I was down in New Orleans. And going to New Orleans was probably one of the most weirdest and interesting places I've ever been to. But that's a whole great big long story. I was there at New Year's. Do Do you want to visit Northwest Mississippi? You know I do, because I want to go see Doug and Shelley. Oh, and Angie says, heading out, have a great night, off to watch Outlander. Angie and her husband have been watching the whole series of Outlander. Joe and I have watched it before. We're on the new season of Outlander. It's a good series. And I have listened to some of the books because our library back home has them. So you put your earbuds in and you can listen to them. And so it's always interesting the differences between the book and what the movie does. And some things you like better in the book, and sometimes some things you like better in the movie. But it's all good. So that's right, Doug. Steph is in here tonight. That is awesome. Look at this, Doug. Steph sent me these. Oh, right there. Can you see those? Look at, they have little crowns. They made them and gave them at church to the people that came to church for Easter. Is that fabulous or what? Because we wear our crowns. And so I love them. I think I'm going to wear them the rest of my life and never take them off, Steph. And Shelly says, I got to go get food out of the freeze dryer. Thanks for stopping by. Steph says, oh my gosh, I used to own the whole book series of Outlander. It's real interesting, the whole idea of going back into time and life, and I don't know, I just think it's very interesting. They are beautiful, aren't they? I love them. That was so nice of Steph to send them to me. And so this weekend, it's going to be in the 90s. It's 88 degrees right now. And at my house, it's 7:21 and it's 88 degrees. On Monday night, I said it was 63. There was something wrong with my computer. I went outside and it was 84 degrees. We were going over to my mom and dad's to have a fire in the fire pit. And I grabbed my sweater and I get outside and I go, it's not 63 degrees. And it was 84 degrees. Oh, look at here. The Vineyard Chicks are here. Which of the girls or all three of you are on the chat? And everybody's saying hi to the Vineyard Chicks. See? And Doug says, I'm better than I deserve. He says that all the time. He is good. And Steph says it's too hot. It is hot. But it's funny. You always get used to wherever you live, right? When you live in Wyoming and it gets 20 below zero, it's cold at first. And then it'll go up to 0 and you're outside without a coat on. You just get used to it. Marcia says it's time for supper. Have a great supper, and thank you for stopping in. And Molly Joy is here. I've been pressing flowers all day. Thought of you. My little girl is loving it. Oh, good. I still have some pressed flowers back in the bedroom. I brought them down, and I should do something else with them because I did a couple things, but I haven't done a lot of things with them. But they did work good for making my fossils, my fused glass fossils, and I did like that. So this weekend, I have a couple jobs to do. I've decided to pull up the zucchinis. It's hot, and it's hot where they are, and they get sun all day long from about 6 o'clock in the morning when the sun is rising here, all the way till at night. And though I water them every day, I think it's just too stressful to them. And so I think I'm going to pull those up. And I've been going to plant my little radishes that are about this tall. But it's been so hot, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with those. They might just go in the compost. It's just been too hot for them. But one thing that was really successful that I was surprised at is that I had been growing microgreens on my kitchen windowsill, right above my sink. Well, some of them got too big, and so I teased those out and I planted them in the flower bed where it gets shade all afternoon. And they are growing beautifully. And I think I'm going to harvest 2 of my artichokes because I have 6 of artichokes now, but 2 of them are about this big. Like, well, they're bigger than baseballs, but not as big as a softball. And I'm going to feel how the leaves feel tomorrow. And if they feel plump, I'm going to cut that. And then I'll do something with the artichoke hearts and I'll do a video. Otherwise, I'll wait for a few more days till they plump up more. But I think the other ones, I'm just going to let them flower because the bees love artichoke flowers. And if you haven't ever let an artichoke go to flower, it gets this beautiful purple flower on top that kind of looks like a ginormous Canadian thistle, because it's that kind of purple. And so that's always crazy. But the bees just go crazy over it. So I think I might do that. And there's a few more things outside that I'll try to do early in the morning tomorrow morning, just because it's supposed to be 90s for like 10 days. So that's crazy. In cleaning our property, we found 10 large car tires. Going to plant some flowers in them to decorate the corners of our backyard. I'll email you pictures. Do that, Liz. How fun. In fact, if Gail is still in here, Gail Southern Living, she has a video on some things that she's doing with tires. But you can leave them just the black. There's a lot of people that paint them. First, they'll paint them white, and then they'll paint all these crazy fun designs on the tires. But they do hold a lot of moisture and they hold a lot of soil. And so a lot of people use them for planting. Now, some people will tell you that you can't plant vegetables in them. But I did a lot of research on that. And if you get down past those little articles that say, don't do it, that it will leach into your soil and your plants. What really happens, it would take years and years and years for any amount to actually biodegrade and go into your soil. And so I say, just plant away. If it's vegetables, if it's flowers, whatever it is. Now, if you're really concerned about it, I have seen people that actually line the inside, or they paint a paint like kilns that will stop anything. And so that's always interesting. A seed on good soil. I love that name. Hello, I'm so late. I meant to be in earlier. Well, you are here now. So thank you so much for stopping by. And the Vineyard Chick says, hit that like button, please. Thank you so much for doing that. It always helps with our analytics. It's nice to know that people are listening and they're enjoying the live stream. So that's always fun. Wendy says, that's a great idea. Yeah, because, any kind of paint, if you're worried about it, just paint the inside of your tires. Paint it, let it dry, and put another coat in there. But it would literally take years and years and years for any of that rubber to actually break down and biodegrade into the soil. And then it would have to work its way through the soil to the vegetable plants. So I really wouldn't worry about it. And it's like sometimes people don't want to use treated wood in their raised beds. But treated wood anymore is done by a copper process. And so it's not like it was before. And so they're okay. So that's my point of view. Take it, leave it. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you think. But I'm at my 30 minutes. And, I like my lives about 30 minutes. And Joe has been gone all day long. He left about 7:30 this morning. So it was a fast trip because it takes 3.5 hours to get to Phoenix. And then he had to drive to where Jordan lives. So it probably took him about 4 hours. He had lunch. They played pool, goofed around a little bit, and he drove home fast. I think he went over the speed limit. Seriously. But we won't tell anybody. But I hope you guys have plans for the weekend. Oh, I'm going to do a video on You know, my new flower bed that I added on the side of the house where it gets shade all afternoon. It is growing so fabulously. And those hollyhocks, there are hollyhocks that are 8 feet tall. And they're just bursting with flowers now. And so I thought, I'm going to do an update. I didn't think about vegetables on them, tired. Maybe I'll plant strawberries in them. You could plant strawberries in them. One suggestion when you're growing vegetables in tires, though, if you can put the tires someplace where it's going to get some afternoon shade, just because the black of the tires, if you're not going to paint them, can really heat up. And certain flowers and vegetables don't like their roots warm. They would rather have their roots cold or cool anyway. And so if you have afternoon shade on them, you don't have to worry about that. Just a little extra thought. Wendy says it was nice to join you tonight. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed the update on that little garden, that flower bed that we added this year. And I hope you like the channel. I hope you're a subscriber. Maybe you'll become a member. I hope you enjoy it. Teresa says, my dad loves hollyhocks, but has such sandy soil, they don't grow for him. What if he grew them in a great big pot? You could get, those big toy bucket things. It's to put kids' toys in. They have 2 little handles. They're plastic. Fill that with soil. Put some drainage holes. Fill it with some soil and let him grow some hollyhocks. It might fix it. I love the artichokes too. They are such a fabulous plant. Even if you hate artichokes, I think you should grow them. And just let the artichokes go to flower for the bees, because they are an amazing looking plant. But I hope you guys enjoy that update on that garden. And I'll have a whole bunch of pictures of hollyhocks. They were one of my grandmother's favorite flowers. That's probably why I love them so much. But everybody have a great night. I am past my 30 minutes. And enjoy the weekend. Take some time for you. Steph, have a wonderful weekend. And everybody else, I will see you next time.